It's July 9th, 2024. It's a Tuesday, and this morning I was meditating and I realized that I was scared of something. I don't know what it was until I realized that I was scared of being faced with the fact that I'm not following my dream anymore. I used to dream of being a movie director, and I still do, but I'm not really following it anymore. I joined a family firm. I feel like life got in the way. I was talking to my friend Scott. He's a composer, and he's still doing it. And he was talking about how most people from his film school are not really making films anymore. And I realized that I'm one of those people. I'm in Beijing, and Beijing is the film capital of China. And there's a film museum called the Beijing Film Museum. So I was thinking of going there to get some inspiration.
I made it. On the way here, I actually had a really good conversation with my taxi driver, because I kind of mentioned that I'm a director, so he was like, "Oh, you're a director, huh?" I told him, I was like, well, right now, I want to be a director, and I'm like a young director, but I'm not. I'm working a corporate job during the day. And he was like, that's okay. He was like, as long as you have it as a hobby.
你不喜欢的东西，你肯定弄不出来。
很有智慧。
啊？
很有智慧，确实是这样。
是不是？你都美都不喜欢，你弄它干嘛呀？美。
And I was like, wow, like this taxi driver has such great advice and wisdom. Like that's so true. I'm glad I'm making this one in a way that I like and in the way that I enjoy it. Where I am is like the central hall and like the 网红产品 of this museum. And yeah, it's really pretty. It's like a lot of LED screens. So what I just looked at are some historical film cameras, and I looked at some of the textbooks that they had for the film cameras, and one realization I had was that now there's very little excuse in terms of like being a director, where if you really want to do it, you can just do it. Like there's no barrier to entry at all, versus like only like maybe 100 years ago it was super difficult to make movies. If you wanted to make a movie, it was so expensive. You had to have huge equipment. You had to like read all these textbooks. If I was born in a different age, maybe I couldn't do this so easily. So yeah, I don't really know what this project is, but no matter what, I feel like I'm grateful to be able to make it. So I'm actually in the Jingju section, like the Beijing opera section of the movie museum, and it's kind of about the integration of opera, like Beijing opera, with Beijing films. And it made me think of one of my favorite movies, Farewell My Concubine. Farewell My Concubine is, in my opinion, the peak of Chinese cinema, and it's about two young boys who fall in love with each other as they train to become, and do become, these Peking opera masters. So one boy kind of plays the male role in the Peking opera plays they do, and the other boy plays the female role, and they fall in love with each other. Or at least the boy who plays the female role falls in love with the other boy, and then they kind of grow up, and it's like an epic historical movie that goes through a lot of different eras of Chinese history, like the Ming Dynasty, and then the establishment of a new country, and then the Japanese invasion, and then the Cultural Revolution. So it's like very historically relevant and very interesting. But I'm thinking, you know what, like maybe in my career, I'll join the Chinese film industry and make my contributions there. All right, that marks the end of my journey with the Beijing National Film Museum. Tomorrow I'm going to interview my friend Dia. I'm super excited. She's an old friend from film school, a really good friend, and I really want to talk to her about her journey and what it's been like.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you? Oh my
I'm
gosh, I
good.
haven't seen you in so long.
I know, it's actually been like years.
After Dia graduated from USC, she went to work at Pixar, and then recently decided to leave the company. She is now in India, where she's beginning her freelance directing and editing career.
I mean, this is kind of what I experienced after leaving Pixar because I realized suddenly that was the first time I was not in an institution. For the first time, I didn't have that safety blanket of being like, oh yeah, I'm here. Like, I'm in this place. I was like waking up really fucking anxious, super anxious in the middle of the night. Sometimes I just wake up and cry. Like very cognizant of the fact that these are my 20s and this is what I want to do with my 20s. And it felt like no matter what, I was not in the place where I wanted to be.
What Dia was saying gave me so much hope that I wasn't alone in my struggling. But also, when she started talking about filmmaking, I felt so inspired by her strength and her sense of hope.
I think I'm at that stage in my life where I have a lot of creative explosion, like, you know what, like there's a lot I want to do, and I just want to like do it. Like I don't know how to explain it more than that. I'm trying to focus on like long-term projects that I would like to take the full 10 yards right now, and I have a couple, and then kind of hoping life pushes me in a direction. At the very base of all of these different mediums and things I want to do, I think I have a very strong core of where it's all coming from. I think my stories tend to be like very heartfelt, very personal, more on the introspective end, and more like celebratory. Like they tend to be more hopeful. And I think I would like everything I do will kind of end up falling in that realm.
Okay, I feel that's such a great answer to not have a specific thing or like a goal that you're like, because I feel like I get overly focused on like, oh, I have to win a film festival or like I have to be a big budget director, but like instead being like, oh, I really like to explore and express myself in this certain way, or like even not really knowing but enjoying the process is like such an important thing.
So after talking to Dia, Dia actually mentioned this writing program that she's doing with the UCLA extension. So I kind of checked it out and I signed up for something. I signed up for Feature Writing 1, which is actually the class she signed up for as well. So I'm super excited. I feel like just by making this film, I'm getting more and more involved in filmmaking again. Today, I am interviewing my friend Ding Feng. He is a Emerson film student, and after he graduated, he returned to China, and he's now working at the same firm I am as a videographer. So I'm really excited to talk to someone who followed the same path I did by returning back to China after studying abroad in America.
Emerson College.
Dodge Film and TV 是吧
Yes.
Yeah. What was your experience like at Emerson?
我是这样，我是直接从美高，当时是直接自己申请进 Emerson， 因为去 Emerson 之前，你知道吗？我那时候是高中生每天脑子一门心思想是我要当一个 YouTuber， 我要当个 UP 主这好玩这多有意思给学校拍点小片子，然后觉得这好玩，然后就想说那我就去看一下有什么学校比较好。
那你现在就是在你人生的这个阶段或者旅途的这个阶段，就是你觉得你还在慢慢的去接近你那个本来的目标，或者是怎么样吗？
首先什么是本来的目标？本来目标其实在电影学院的时候，可能我们大家想的就是我要拍一个获奖短片，然后我要去拍一个长片，然后我要进入这个电影行业，然后我就开始指导院线电影，然后我要开始走向人生巅峰了我就是下一个那个什么斯皮尔伯格大家都是这种想法但是确实也是怎么说呢？你随着就是你毕业了，你去找工作了，就没有一份坐班的工作是告诉你做这个坐班的工作你可以一直做到导演了。没有。
That's true。
所以当时就是第一个，你可以说我的电影梦吧开始说有一条裂痕的时候，就是 哦，原来这个行业不是说有一个你可以给你说给你钱的同时，让你慢慢成长成一个导演。
挺好的。我最后一个问题是，是你给我有什么建议？因为我现在呢，我现在在奥雅工作快1年了嘛，然后呢，我们也做董事也做了一段时间，但是呢，我虽然在做这个比较白天会做一些关于公司的商务的事情，但同时我还是特别想去追求一下我的这个理想。对，所以在这个时候，你有没有什么想对我说的话，或者什么建议给到我？
做，就去做就可以了。我真的是这么认为的。我会去开始写本子，我会开始拍故事，我会开始去把我想呈现的东西呈现出来。我觉得上班也很有意义。但是说你要是真是说在相比之下，让真正让我感觉有意思，那还是去做你自己喜欢的作品。
So I just finished the interview with Beijing Film and I have a lot of thoughts. At the end of the interview, he gave me some really good advice for my film career, and he said that if you really want to do it, you have to just do it. And sometimes it really comes down to like when you really feel like you have no choice and you're backed to a corner, but like you still go for it, you know? And I feel like that's what this project has been. And I feel like that's what I keep coming back to is like, what is this project? Because this project started from a meditation. And in that meditation, I realized I was scared of the fact that I wasn't chasing my dream anymore. And that was becoming a crisis for me. So in a way, this film is a meditation on that crisis, and it's a process of me trying to find my way out. And I feel like slowly I'm starting to see cracks in the darkness, and I'm starting to feel the light.
Around this time, I got invited to go with my friends to the first International Film Festival, a top-tier film festival for young filmmakers in China. This felt like a natural next step on my journey, and so the preparations began. I'm about to go to the first film festival, so now we're prepping some equipment. I hope that when I go, I can get some interviews with some people over there.
然后这两个都是控制他的。
I can't believe I'm actually doing this, but I'm actually going to the first film festival, which is like so many thousands of miles away from my city, and everything is packed, and I'm about to leave for the airport.
When I got to Xining, I was struck by its beauty and felt hopeful for what was to come.
Today is the first day. I'm about to go to a documentary screening, a rough cut screening, and then a workshop, which I think is going to be really helpful because this is a documentary, and I'm also kind of planning for one about urban villages in China. Alright, so it's raining outside. I borrowed someone's umbrella to get to the first destination, which is the documentary workshop. So I think I'm approaching, so we'll see.
去年的什么时候，我在想，5年之内挣100万，现在净投0。
然后我说你觉得呢？结果我们遇到大家好，拍摄基于我们的用途是为了为我们长片做准备。那我不知道我们方向，所以在整个这个。
So I just had a great day. I had a few screenings. But now I'm at the final event of the day. One of my friends, his name is Monkey, has his film screening at this event. So I am very excited. I'm gonna go talk to him.
走过来就听见后面一小朋友就说：“妈妈，一个杀马特！”然后就已经很久没听到这个词了。妈，我实在不敢看的。你觉得我说你不要记住你了，你说不噻？
他现在别个说了，他现在觉得，哎，你一个人把你了解透了，你生活明明没得了，那个一个透明人在人家面前，你觉得还有啥子意义？
As I watched Monkey's film, I felt swept up in his storytelling. It was obvious that he loved documentaries and he loved filmmaking. I asked him if he would be willing to be interviewed, and he said yes. We found a piece of ground next to a movie theater and started our interview.
好。OK，Hello，
Hello，
我记得有一次你跟我说过一句话，就是我们在招社区的时候，你说拍纪录片就是一种爱的表达。对，你可以跟我讲一讲，就是这句话，你是为什么会这样说吗？
就不太会爱人， 就是我也很晚才发现自己不太会爱人，然后发现亲密关系也会反映出来这个问题。纪录片可能是我觉得我自己稍微能够做到一点爱人的方式吧，就是帮别人记录一下，就帮别人记录一下就好了啊，也没有什么特别复杂的啊。我觉得其实什么故事什么的都还好啊，我就可能过个5年10年，那个人能看到那个时候有自己的一段影像，就挺好的啊。故事我觉得都其次啊。
里面你有没有一个理想或者是一个志向？
原来有，现在没有。
哦。
现在没有了，现在我觉得就是某一种生活方式吧。就记录，反正就拍着嘛，你不一定用。原来会觉得，因为原来会觉得一个很具体的梦想就会有一个很具体的目标嘛。比如你要去哪儿放入围或者干嘛。但我发现好像也就还好，就它不会对你生活有太大的影响。就如果你的性格有问题，那那个梦想实现了也不会让你的性格变得更好，可能会变得更糟。而且我现在如果觉得一个特别好的作品和一个亲密关系，我觉得亲密关系的好比那个好的作品珍贵很多。
确实。
因为我拍那个我就已经分手了嘛，就片子是放了入围什么的，但就亲密关系也没有处理得很好嘛。但如果有机会再选，我觉得就算没有这片子，我觉得亲密关系会更重要一点。
确实。So after the interview with Monkey, I felt very moved by his humble approach and his reflective attitude. This is 2 weeks after the film festival. I am now back in Shenzhen. I was meditating again this morning and I realized that it was time to finish this video. I started this journey with an existential crisis. I didn't really know where my film career was going to lead and I felt a little hopeless. After going to a film museum, interviewing film school friends, going to a film festival and interviewing film directors, I felt a lot more involved in the process. I think, this entire thing was really an excuse to get myself to be involved in filmmaking again. And filming everything was just a way to motivate myself to do that. I wanted to say that to anybody who is going through something similar as me, that we have to keep on going and not lose hope, that a dream kind of keeps someone alive and makes life worth living. Like today when I was meditating, I felt so much more happy. Like there was a sense of hope in my heart that I didn't have that first time when I meditated at the start of this video. So it's just important, to me at least, to really follow my dreams and to keep pursuing them. No matter what really happens with the result, it's the process that really matters, just like that taxi driver once said. I hope that if you're watching this and you're in a similar position as me, I hope that I gave you some hope and made you feel less alone in what you're going through. And I'll see you next time.